Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Trophy Room. I'm your host, Joseph. Today, we are going to be talking about it. It's finally been revealed. PlayStation Spartacus, what it is, how it matches up to the competition, and all the good stuff in between. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, Future Joe, start the show. So, after months of rumors, speculation, ever since the Bloomberg article hit back in December 29th, if memory serves right, PlayStation Spartacus has been this rumored service, the rumored GamePass competitor that would go head-to-head with their competition, Xbox. This streaming/downloadable service we didn't know much about is finally here, and now we know a whole lot about it. So, how we're going to start is I'm going to tell you piece by piece what each tier is, what it does, and how it matches up to the competition. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, what comes in this Spartacus package, or what is Spartacus? Well, it is not a separate service from PlayStation Plus. Instead, it's an extension or an evolution, as PlayStation would say, to the PlayStation Plus service. They know that PlayStation Plus is incredibly popular, way more popular than PlayStation Now, so they're going to be using that brand to push this new initiative. So first things first, let's talk about PlayStation Plus Essential. That is the first tier. That is the basic tier that we've known and loved from PlayStation Plus. That starts at $9.99 for the month, and for a whole year, it's $60. And it's been a great deal. It's been really popular. I love it. I'm a PlayStation Plus subscriber. And what comes with this, if you don't know, is 2 monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage for saved games, and online multiplayer access. You also get little cool knickknacks. Like Fortnite, you could get a bonus skin, or like Apex as well. You get cool little bonus stuff for being a member. That being said, $9.99 for the month, $60 for a year. All right, now this is where the new stuff comes in. PlayStation Plus Extra provides all the basic necessities that you had from your PlayStation Plus service, but now it's up to 400, and this comes straight from the blog, most enjoyable PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 titles, including blockbuster hits like Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, God of War, and Returnal, hitting the catalog come June. Now, also note that VGC has said that all major publishers are going to be on this service as well. So this is probably the most Game Pass-like service right here. The one thing that is missing is that there is no day-and-date PlayStation titles hitting this service. So don't expect God of War Ragnarok to be on the service day and date. That is the one major contention point right now, but this is pretty much what PlayStation Now is. Now that PlayStation Now is going away in June, this is effectively it. And right off the bat, you got some good games in there. Like Miles Morales is one of the most popular PlayStation games. You're getting it. God of War, you're getting it. So cool, but again, we'll talk about no day and date in a second. And that one will be $14.99 monthly and $9.99 yearly. So $100 for the whole year, or $15 for the month. That said, now we get the PlayStation Premium. All the things we just talked about and more. You have, though, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PSP generations of games you could be playing downloaded onto the PlayStation 5. No streaming required. But with the PlayStation 3 games that will enter this service, you do have to stream it. And PlayStation's pretty much come out and said, yeah, it's a cell processor. Yeah, we're too lazy to emulate it. And that seems to be the biggest bummer out of all of this, is just like, really? We've seen emulations of PlayStation 3 games. Like this is possible. That is a bummer to me. Now, the one thing as well is we don't know if, the PS1 or just the PlayStation Classics will offer trophy support. We've seen on the back end that they've had blueprints of how to make trophy-enabled PS1, PS3, PSP games. So that is exciting. We need to know more details on this. And also, if your country of origin doesn't support the streaming service, they'll have something called PlayStation Deluxe, which will have all these games downloaded, but I expect PlayStation 3 won't be supported there, which is a bummer. It really is. It's a big bummer. Okay, so that service is going to be $18 for the whole month, or $120 for the whole year. So essentially, it is their Game Pass equivalent with PlayStation backwards compatibility kind of tacked on in. My initial thoughts is it's decent. This is fine. This is a good stepping off point for the PlayStation Extra. I think it's cool that for the most part, the $9.99 version is staying where it is, but I do think the PlayStation Premium is too expensive. Like $18 just for backwards compatibility. Oof. I don't like it. Now, also, I should mention the premium version, you could also stream games as well. So I'm guessing like to your mobile device, to your tablet, and to your PC. But honest to goodness, we've seen streaming, on PlayStation, and it's not the best, but I would assume it's been better. But again, I don't think $18 is kind of worth the jump. I kind of feel like, to me, off the gate, the PlayStation Plus Extra should be $13, and then maybe, premium would be $16, and then you have a nice reason for why you may want to jump over to either one of these from the Essential. But I've seen a lot of sentiment online going, yeah, just stick with Essential, or I'll wait and see what the extra tier has in store, the $15 tier has in store. But, for the most part, I see this as, again, a stepping point for PlayStation, and this thing is going to be evolving, because I'm going to get this game industry article, this little quote from Jim Ryan explaining why the biggest point of contention is that their games are not going to be day and date. PlayStation Studio games will not be on the service day and date. They may come eventually, but they're not coming day and date on the service. So from the gamesindustry.biz article, which all my articles down below, it states the following. But it doesn't, unlike its main competitor, offer first-party games that launch in the service at the same time as they come out in retail. Quote, we feel like we are in a good virtuous cycle with the studios, explains PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan, where the investment delivers success, which enables yet more investment, which delivers yet more success. We like that cycle, and we think our gamers like that cycle. He continues, in terms of putting our games into a service, or all of our services upon their release, as you know, this is not the road that we've gone down in the past, and it's not the road that we're going to go down with this new service. We feel if we were to do that with the games that we are making at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. And the level of investment that we need to make in our studios, and this is important here, the level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible. And we think the knock-on effect on quality of games, that we would not be something that gamers want. So, in short, is this the Game Pass competitor? Straight up, no. Like, that quote aside, PlayStation games not being day one still means Game Pass is the most, it's the reason why you're here. Let's be honest, right? Being able to play Forza, being able to play Psychonauts day and date, that's a huge win for Microsoft. If I'm PlayStation, I understand something. Again, the level of investment. I love that quote because it speaks volumes here. It's more than that virtuous cycle. It's the level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible. Meaning, simply put, PlayStation, Sony, does not have the funds that Microsoft has in terms of investment to acquiring studios to make this possible. Right? If you're Microsoft, you have made an $80 billion bet that eventually this service is going to pay off. And it's going to pay off because we just bought, Call of Duty being on this service, right? We just bought games like Elder Scrolls or, Starfield being on this service, Redfall being on this service, and then coupled with, whatever comes afterwards. So like your Fables or whatnot are on this service. Microsoft is trying to make it so that every quarter you have a game that you're going to be talking about that you can play on Xbox Game Pass. It's like the console is complementary to the service, whereas PlayStation's approaches the service is complementary to the hardware. And I feel like that's what everybody is kind of missing here. PlayStation cannot make the level of investments that Xbox is making to make their games day and date. Not only do their portfolio just not allow it, right? Because a lot of their games, or many of their games, don't have live service elements like Xbox does. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, Xbox players. I love Sea of Thieves. I love a good Halo. I love Forza Horizon. But those games also have microtransactions that could kind of balance out the cost of making it a $15 per month game or service. PlayStation doesn't have that, right? Horizon doesn't have it. God of War doesn't have it. Ergo, their portfolio, it just at this point in time doesn't allow day and date to kind of exist. And they don't have the investment or the money to throw and to risk this being something that pays off for them. So if you're PlayStation and you've seen your $70 to $60 games, people are still buying them in droves. Horizon is still incredibly successful on your platform. It's still on the top 10 list, whether it's downloaded or physical. A month into its service, you're seeing it going, well, my consumers don't necessarily need it right now. They will eventually. But right now, we could kind of get away with the $60, $70 thing until we have the games in the portfolio that speak to that type of day and date service. So those 10 live service or games as service games that PlayStation's making, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see them come later on to the service. As it stands right now, though, it doesn't make much sense. So though this is a nice service to have, it's complimentary. You don't need it. So what does it mean to me? Am I picking up this service? Honestly, it depends. I'm looking at Extra right now, being really intrigued by it. But if, the premium offers trophy support for backwards compatible games, I'm totally down on that. I would definitely pick it up. So I do plan on upgrading. It's just what's in that catalog that's going to be really important. If we see cool indie stuff come day and date to this service, that's really awesome. That's something I've been pushing for. But as of right now, I think $18 for the premium service is just a little bit too much to ask. I would like in the future there to be even bonus like incentives, like again, that knockdown effect of PlayStation 5 discount games where instead of paying $70, you are paying $60, and you do feel like you're getting your money's worth in that regard. But to me right now, PlayStation Extra is the way to go. And, the realization that PlayStation is not in the position Microsoft has, let's not fool each other here. Right now, Game Pass is growing. It's growing fast. But the question is, and from what we hear, is it growing fast enough? And I really think that once we see the Redfalls, once we see the Starfields, once we see, that Game Pass stable start coming out and it does grow to that speed, I think that's going to be very convincing for PlayStation to go, okay, we can make this risk now. I don't think that this is a one-to-one competitor, but if you are a PlayStation fan or a PlayStation stan, this may be really appealing to you. Right now, though, for me, I definitely see Game Pass as being the best service in games, and that's awesome for Xbox. But I still prefer my PlayStation ecosystem, which is why I'll be upgrading to PlayStation Extra. So it's kind of crazy at the end of the day. You could kind of think that this service is fine, while also admitting that, yeah, the other service, probably better. So that's how I feel about all the things. This is my gut reaction to it. And hopefully it's a bit of a rational one, as this was just a whole big stream of consciousness, not a lot of notes planned. So if you like this video, please hit like, share, subscribe, and also know that the Trophy Room is a podcast made by the players for the players, where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. And this week you can get more of my thoughts and, of course, whatever breaks after on the Trophy Room this week. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be a really fantastic show. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.